Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What are your thoughts on parallel universes? At least one of me believes in them. Good one and relatable. I sometimes think I see his face. The man I could have been. The man who walks another place. Another stage and scene. I think I see his point of view. I think I hear his voice. I think I see the me, the you. Who made another choice. I wonder how and why and where. Our paths became unstuck. I wonder if he's happy there. I bet he's weird as fuck. Don't like them. I don't look good in a goatee. Evil abed. Darkest timeline. Cool. They're fine as long as you don't steal your sick kid from the other universe. Walter 8 will be mad if you do that. Fringe reference being a top voted comment is not something I ever expected to see. Guess it's gotta happen in one of the universes though. She tricked my son with her carnal manipulations and he fell right into her Vegeta. You especially don't want to portal to close on your kid's fingertip. Bring back the girl and wipe away the debt. Okay, I'm revisiting Bioshock for the third time already. My thoughts on it never align. Nice. It's where all the lost socks go. Edit. For those of you wondering where this idea comes from, it's from my grandmother who used to say this whenever looking for lost pacifiers. I swear those pacifiers ends up in a parallel universe. She sadly passed away, but I will continue this conversation with her someday, in this universe or another. Appliance repairman here. They sometimes make their way into the cabinets of your dryer or in the washer down the drain pipe or between the inner and outer tub. If you bag them all up, that should keep them from getting in those areas. One time I pulled a sock out of a dryer vent line which was pretty wild. Edit, the worst one was a front load washer that had probably 8 socks in the lines. Replaced the bad pump and had to disassemble a couple more times because every time we tested it another sock made its way through the hose. I'll also add a couple tips since this is getting a lot of attention. Run white vinegar through the dishwasher occasionally to clear drain hoses of buildup, also works for washers. If your dryer takes more than once to dry your clothes, clean your vent to the outside, and if your appliance has an issue, wait until it breaks or does the thing every time before you call a repairman, because if we can't replicate the problem you waste everyone's time and your money. You're from the FBI, and you're telling us this to keep us from the truth. I see right through you. Do your own TVA homework, Loki. Miss Minutes can't answer all your questions. My daughter told me that clock sounds like Twilight Sparkle trying to talk like Applejack. Probably likely, but who knows. The more we seem to learn, the more abstract reality seems to become. Thing is that we couldn't even comprehend how different it would be. They could have a color spectrum that we couldn't even imagine, or Pepsi is water and perfectly compatible like our water. Or we couldn't survive in their gravity. I'd imagine a parallel universe being a literal death trap. Or full of differences so imperceptibly small you'd never even know what changed. I find it hilarious that most stories are about parallel universes caused by someone taking one path or another, and not about the uncountable and effectively identical parallel worlds caused by particles scooting off one way instead of another. You could be switching between parallel universes every time you blinked and you'd never know. I tried not to blink while reading this. I'm pretty happy here right now. Don't wanna switch places. Me neither, don't go. Edit, oh wait, it's been 15 minutes lol bye. I want to be able to use the power of the backwards long jump to enter the 5th parallel universe and finally speed through the entire world Mario 64. There it is. Took long enough. Could be, but I personally don't think humanity will find out before we destroy ourselves, lol. What if the other humanity finds us? Oof, other humanity gave me the willies. An oppress is an oppress. How can you have half an oppress? I prefer intersections. Perpendicular universes are the real answer here. Skew-iverses. It doesn't surprise me that of all the theories of existence, we pick one, the ones where humans' choice is the critical factor in creating parallel worlds. I honestly don't think humanity matters as much as we like to think it does. I'm not ruling out parallel worlds per selenium, but I think it's pretty arrogant to put human choice at the center of it all. Actually, it's more to explain why our universe just happens to have the specific natural laws needed to harbor life. It's not that the universe splits each time you flip a coin. More that half of the so far already existing identical universes will have a different outcome. Some people think that consciousness is directly linked, maybe reliant on, the collapse of waveform functions that resolve ambiguity in what is. I think this is what you're saying, but the reason why we have magic powers is that we wouldn't be conscious unless we did, and therefore there might be endless trillions of universes full of non-conscious life that doesn't have the ability to shape things. It has absolutely nothing to do with human decisions, though. Human choice is not the critical factor though. Any event that could have more than one outcome is the cause. Yes, this could be a human choice, but it could be infinite other things as well. Human choices are just used as an example because they are easy to relate to, which aids understanding and generates interest. The theory still holds if humans don't even exist. It's not to do with human choice, it's about what has been observed in quantum physics. Out of this world. Nice observation, Sherlock. It's elementary. It provides a theory on the fine-tuning of the gravity constant of our universe and life on Earth. Where the state of gravity is so precise, not too weak or strong, that it allowed the formation of galaxies, stars, planets, moons, and ultimately us, the strangest fucking thing in the universe it appears. Some say this supposed fine-tuning is evidence of a creator, perhaps even if not necessarily rooted in a god, though it's usually implied. However, multiple universes provides a theory which states that there are infinite universes with varying degrees of the gravity constant. We just happen to be in that Goldilocks zone which allowed the creation of all the celestial elements, so we can exist in the Goldilocks zone of our galaxy, solar system, and Earth. Life appears to be that precise for existence based on our observation of the universe that an infinite and multiple universe theory could explain that. Also, it doesn't dismiss creator theory entirely. If infinite universe exists, then there could be one where creator, S, is /are present to create the infinite universe, for example. Maybe. I've always figured this. If the components that led up to the Big Bang existed, there's no reason that should only happen once. Why wouldn't it happen multiple times? I guess time is the confusing thing for me. Supposedly there were particles before the Big Bang. When did those come into existence? Is there really no start? Things, particles, have always been here. What about outside of our universe? The concept of universe and its birth is what always breaks my brain. Even if I can't visualize it, the idea of there being a parallel something, life that's nearly identical or completely different to ours, and just the general wildness of the contents of the universe makes sense. If our universe is expanding, what is it expanding into? Is there a limit to how big it can get? Why or why not? Where did the first bits come from? If there's nothing beyond the limits of our universe, then how could something potentially exist within the nothing? How big is the nothing? What does it exist in? I don't know exactly how rooted this is on physics and science, but I've always wondered if parallel universe is not really parallel at all. Perhaps it's more like a stream with one universe beginning following another's ending, and simply one bit of information is different at a time, to use computers as an example. This simply goes on forever since it's outside the realm of what we call time. Anything outside of our universe might as well be our wildest dreams. Time isn't time perhaps, and probably even outside of how we can comprehend multiple dimensions. It's funny to think that we experience our world through the evolution of our senses to survive here, but got to a point where we can begin to look outside of it. Only we are not equipped to really do so, and Earth is probably the only thing we'll ever know considering the current state of things. I wonder how wide that Goldilocks zone is, or if there are multiple Goldilocks zones. I think by implication there are an infinite number of Goldilocks zones. If there are infinite universes, then by that theory there are infinite Goldilocks zones. That's both terrifying and interesting. To answer that, we need to talk about parallel universes. Yahoo! What counts as a parallel universe? Is a universe where a pebble gets moved different from one where it doesn't? If so, then there's an unfathomable number of parallel universes with so many different variables. That's pretty astounding to me. Yep, this is exactly right. Assuming there's infinite, there would have to be infinite of them with infinite different big and small changes. As long as it's possible, such as winning the lottery, and not impossible, becoming a literal god, then there would be plenty where anything could have happened. Copied my comment for this reply. On one hand, I think it's possible, on the other I overthink it too much. Like, when there is for every possibility a parallel universe, then there has to be a parallel universe in which I killed Hitler while kissing a pickle. Everyone is only 1 centimeter high, and ants are 12 meters big, because fuck you, it's a parallel universe. Not necessarily. Infinite universes doesn't imply that every permutation exists. It doesn't even suggest that any universe would even be unique. Imagine infinite universes, but they are all the same. There are easier ways to speedrun Mario 64. It's cool for TARS though.